Hello, this is Imperial Collection.
I'm a little bit of everything.
Amateur Gamer. In this episode, what will be the fate of the characters?
Okay, so let's start off with the big one, Wendy. What does everybody think will happen to Wendy? Imperial?
Well, I think she will survive, and the question is, if she does survive, is she going to be with her brother, or is she going to go with the Xenomorphs? And if will that set up season 2?
For me, I feel to fracture the group, I think Wendy's going to go off on her own or with the Xenos because it fractures the group then. And then the rest of the group split off into littler groups. What about you, Drew?
I think she'll see the fracture and she'll try and fix it. Ultimately, fail to fix the group splitting up, and then go off with the Xenomorph, and then be used as a plot device for them to all come together.
Okay, so the next one on our list is Hermit. Imperial, what is your opinion of what will happen to him?
I think he will survive because, I think, in case if they do a season 2, or maybe if they do kill him off so that it will cause trauma for Wendy to see her brother die because she's been in the beginning of it, she wanted to get to her brother and save him and make sure he was safe. So I think that will cause drama for that character, and as well for that bit of that plot armor to stop happening with the how he's been able to survive against the Xenomorph. So I think it'd be interesting to see what would happen to that character because I think he's going to meant to have like a meaningful death.
Well, for me, I think Hermit will survive, but I think he will separate off into a group. And in that group, for me, we'll have Isaac and what else did I think? Not just Hermit and Isaac. I think those two will go off, and they'll either go to find Wendy, possibly with Siberian and Rashidi in the group. I think they'll either go and try and bring Wendy back, or they'll look at trying to fix what's going on, like with the xenomorphs and stuff. True?
Again, trying to be the outside line, I think Hermit may either die or go over to Wayland Yutani. I've just got a feeling that they're going to get more involved and they're going to drag him over to their side.
I like that idea.
Me too.
The next character on our list is Dame Sylvia. You don't see much of her, but Imperial, what are you thinking about Dame Sylvia?
I do think she might survive, but I think because of like how she's been a mother figure to the kids, I think what she would do is like her death will be like a mother protecting her children and sacrifice her life in a way to keep them safe. So that's what I think, that she might die, but in another meaningful death.
Yeah, I actually agree with that. I think if she doesn't survive and stay with some of the children to progress the story, I think, like you said, her death is going to be meaningful, especially to Wendy. And is that what causes maybe Wendy to go off, or does it ultimately help her make the decision on where she's going to go in the story? True.
I think she's going to be used. She's the humanity of the Lost Boys. She's the moral compass. And I think Boy Cavalier may either exploit that even more or take that away and may kill her off to take that morality away from them.
Food for thought. Speaking of Boy Cavalier, he's the next one on the list. I'll let you go, Imperial, and then I'll drop my bombshell.
I think Boy Cavalier, I think he's too much of a character not to exploit for potential future series. So I think because with what he's done so far in the series, I think he's too much of a character to not cause the drama and cause new things to happen in the franchise. So I think they will keep him alive so that they can see what impact he can do on the franchise.
Definitely, they're going to keep him alive, but I can't remember what episode it was without looking at my notes. But I have a theory on Boy Cavalier. Now, when he first sees the Xeno eggs, he's like encouraging them to come out, and Kirsch is watching like he's literally leaning over the egg, like willing it to come out, but I don't actually think he knows what would have happened to him. I think he wants to be this powerful being, and now he's seen what the eyeball does, who aka we call Eyeball Paul. He knows that it takes over the body, and if you watch with the episode with the sheep, he is like calling the eyeball to come to him. He's actually tilting his finger, he's pointing at himself, he's going, me. He wants the eyeball in him because he sees that eyeball as a superior being, and he wants to be this superior being. So I think he's going to let the eyeball get into him, and he's going to somehow survive the transformation that it does.
I think that'd be an interesting plot twist, yeah, like a symbiotic relationship between two species. So
yeah,
I
he's
think
so eager. When you watch back, if you go and watch back those episodes, you'll see when it comes to the face huggers first, he would have stayed if Kirsch hadn't moved him.
Yeah.
And then outside the window, he's calling to the eyeball in the sheep. He's actually pointing at himself.
Yeah.
True. What do you think?
I think they're going to kill him off. No, I'm only joking. No, they'll definitely keep him. He's the antagonist.
Yeah, he's too good of an antagonist. That's why I think the symbiotic relationship.
So, yeah, he's either going to survive or change, like you said.
Just nicking my ideas. Who do we have next on our list? We have Morrow.
I think Morrow will survive, and I think with how he's exploited slightly, I think he will have slightly joined with him and work with Weyland-Yutani to continue the experiments and see what he does next. But I think as well, Morrow might be the one, though. You never know. He might be the one who kills Boy Cavalier because it's because of Boy Cavalier, of course, what he did in episode 5. He orchestrated behind the scenes of the takedown of the ship. So I think Morrow might get to Boy Cavalier and kill him. But then, though, will Morrow get killed by Slightly? I don't know. I think it would be cool if Morrow did survive, because he's another character who has so much potential and has brought so much already to what his performance has with the actor. So I'm thinking, no, I don't think he will be killed off this season.
No, I get what you mean, because Morrow, right from day dot, the first 4 episodes, did not like him. I'd marked him out as a bad guy, but then episode 5, he really did change my opinion, and it's just like, yeah, you see a different side to him of like what was going on. Whereas at the beginning, you're just given this snapshot, aren't you? And he is pretty much, pardon my French, a prick. But yeah, I think Morrow and Slightly will go off. And like you said, I think they will head towards Yutani.
Yeah.
And maybe Dame Sylvia will go with them. True. How about you?
I think with the arc in episode 5, he will die in a like righteous suicide mission sort of thing,
It'd be very fitting for him.
because he's suffered and he's been through so much, and it's like he's got nothing left to lose.
What, sort of sacrifice himself for the Lost Boys or something?
Possibly, yeah, that is a growth avenue that could happen.
Because he starts off manipulating Slightly, but then maybe seeing all the kids together and losing his daughter, which you find out, sorry, spoilers, episode 5.
Yeah, he might change and realise what his actions may have done, and realising the dangers of the Xenomorph, what it could do to humanity. So that could be a possibility.
Next character on our list is Slightly. What do you think, Imperial?
I think, like I mentioned, I think Slightly will, if Morrow does survive, I think Slightly will go with him and back to the company or do something entirely different. But you never know, Slightly may survive and be reunited with his family. Even probably the Lost Boys might find their family members and reunite with them. So at the moment, it's 50-50. He lives, he dies. That's the thing I can think.
Well, that's just kind of put a curveball in my idea then. Because I thought Slightly, yes, he would go with Morrow because of how much Morrow's manipulated him.
Yeah.
But what happens if Dame Sylvia goes with them and she helps through Yutani to find their families.
Like a redemption arc.
Yeah, because she took them away, and it goes back to, you said something, Wendy says to Dame Sylvia, like, you watch us, and you asked, was it meaning the Lost Boys or the Xenos that she's watching? Maybe, like you said, it could be a redemption arc for her, and then maybe she gets her righteous death. You never know. What do you think, Drew?
I think either he'll survive and take Morrow's work if Morrow dies as like a successor, or he will be another loss for Morrow to feel, if that makes sense.
Yes.
Because if he grows a connection, then it's his death would then affect Morrow more, and then more death
Spur him on
to
get to Boy Cavalier if Boy Cavalier hasn't died. Who is next on our Curly. What do you think about Curly, Imperial?
Like in previous videos of our theories, she is going down a path of jealousy to do with Wendy and wanting to be proven that she's better, of course, in the eyes of Boy Cavalier. I think she's also too much of a good character for a rivalry story, so I think she might survive, and that if Boy Cavalier does survive, she joins with him, but then the Boy Cavalier could sacrifice her to save himself, and she dies. But then, though, the thing about these synthetics, they are machines, and machines can be rebuilt, so except the memory core might get damaged, so it's, in a way, she might die and might come back, but I'm just thinking she's too much of a good character to kill off this season, so I think she is going to live.
Well, for me, Curly and Isaac have always been the more stronger out of the Lost Boys with Wendy. They're really like maturing into their bodies. As they go each episode, they are growing with the episode, like sort of what AI would do, it would learn. I've always thought Smee, Slightly, and Nibs would be throwaway characters to give you that emotional, because they're still very immature. They still behave like children, so it'll hurt, it'll give you the feels. So with Curly, I agree that she will go off with Boy Cavalier, because I think I don't know, because she so wants to impress him and she wants to replace Wendy. I feel that her and Boy Cavalier will probably separate from the group, and they will become like another negative impact on the group. So not only are they've got these aliens to worry about and possibly the loss of Wendy if that happens, but then they've got these two baddies that are just, because he just wants power. He's not in it for love anymore. He just wants to grow. He just wants to, the more he gets, the more he wants. He's never satisfied. So I can see him and Curly going off and wreaking havoc while everyone else is trying to get back together and fix things, and they're just causing trouble. And strangely, Morrow will end up being on the side of helping rather than what we thought at the beginning of causing trouble. How about you, Drew?
I think you're correct, unless she starts to see his flaws. If she starts to see Boy Cavalier's flaws, then she may go nuclear.
But that could be a twist for like the second season. That maybe he doesn't change his behaviour towards her, even though they're separate from Wendy. And it might drive her more and more down this destructive route, like Imperial said.
Well, she might, in fact, like with the synthetics, she might betray him, and because she did mention when she first, like, she had her own ideas, wants to change the world, so she might, you never know, she might kill Boy Clavier and take everything that he had and replace him. So we see what happens, because she has a smart, intelligent computer for a brain. So I'm thinking,
Oh no, the start of Skynet.
well, it could be that, yeah. But that's something I think what could happen. Or she might, in fact, if the character Atom Ainz dies, she might take his place and be his. Well, she'll be Boy Cavier's assistant, and then that could be a new dynamic where she's no longer someone of a. Well, might be something he doesn't see as someone anymore, but more of an assistant and property. So That might be something that changes for the future.
The next one on our list is Smee. You Imperial?
I think Smee might die because he's one of those characters that hasn't really developed as much as the others. But you never know. You might kill off the other characters that have had so much development and we've all grown to love, so that in the future you get more spotlight for this character to grow and like, as he is helping in the teaser trailers for episode 6, or trailers I've seen. He's going to help slightly with the person they've infected with the facehugger. So I think me is someone who's just at the moment has been a friend, like a big brother or something like that, who is just along for the ride and at some point is going to die. That's the only thing I could think of.
For me, I always thought from the beginning, bless him, that he was going to be one of the characters that died. He's had no real character growth in the show itself, not like what I'd say Isaac and Curly. Even Slightly's had character growth, even though it's the wrong way. He's had character growth, and I think he's going to be one of those characters that he's there for the emotional hit that you're going to get at the end. I think for the finale, I think he'll be right there to the very end of the season, and then it'll hit you with that he's no longer there, and it's to get you to feel for the characters.
Yeah.
True.
I agree entirely. He's going to be like the puppy dog, and that emotional hit is going to be a driving factor to carry on into the next season and whatever journeys they go on.
The next character, we don't see very much of him, but it's Arthur Sylvia, Dame Sylvia's husband. What are your feelings?
I'm thinking that he's the one who's going to get infected by Slightly. I think Slightly is the one who's going to manipulate Arthur to go into the lab because he knows him, he thinks he will trust him, and that's what I think will happen. And I think he's going to be. I think he's a character that we have grown to like, and he has been a character who's actually been talking reason and logic, and he's not taking things for granted. He knows that these creatures are dangerous, and he wants to concentrate on originally what they had in mind to do. But he has been that voice of reason, and I think that would also, will help Dane Sylvia understanding if he died and understand the dangers of it. So might help with her character development. I think Arthur will die.
Yeah, I agree with you there. From watching the teaser trailer, I do think it's him. Then again, when it came to the facehugger and Slightly scenario, I always thought it was Hermit because he doesn't like how Wendy's brother is with them. He's the one when they're at the table. He's like, well, why do you get family? So I always thought that maybe he was going to try and lure Hermit there, but I do like Imperial's idea of Arthur because Arthur is the voice of reason. He's said, let's just focus on what we're doing. We're doing something really great here. Focused on that, not on other stuff. So again, he's going to be that a bit like Smee's character. It's going to be emotional. He's going to be right there, and then something's going to happen, and it's again going to be that emotional impact that divides the group. True?
Yeah, I agree. He's definitely going to be. He may even gotten rid of. Sorry, by Boy Cavalier. He's a dissenting opinion, thought processes.
Yep.
So if he does get a bit more power crazy, he might silence him and try and take him out. Or
that's a theory I didn't think of.
Me too. I do agree with True as well. That could be something because he has spoken up against, even though he's afraid of Boy Cavalier, but he has spoken up against what his actions have been doing. So I think that's another way. He might be left behind deliberately just to be a way of that Boy Cavalier survives and all that if anything bad happens.
Or maybe Curly does it to get on the good sides of Boy Cavalier.
Well, that too. That could be another plot twist.
So he's got a few more because he's tied to a lot more characters.
Yeah.
Curly's tied to Boy Cavalier. Boy Cavalier has been wary of Arthur because he keeps saying things out of turn. So, yeah.
I think we should do the next two together.
What, Siberian and Rashidi?
Yeah.
So, They're part of Hermit's team, aren't they, Imperial?
Yes, they're part of his team from the Prodigy City that went to the crash site. So I think those two are characters. They haven't had, of course, enough development, but we've grown to get to know them a bit, but not a lot. Just know that they're Hermit's friends. So we might see how they, in the future episodes to the finale, see how they react with the Xenomorphs and the other creatures and see what happens. And I think with like how we've mentioned, if anything happens to Wendy, like splitting off, going away somewhere, and Hermit survives, so we may go with him and help him find his sister. So we see what happens there.
Yeah, I'm on that theory that if Hermit doesn't get face hugged, thanks to Slightly, doesn't get a big hug, that Siberian and Rashidi will go with him because they know each other, the bonds of brotherhood. When in any military form, you're in a group, your family. They'll go and they'll help him. So yeah, I'm thinking if anything, they'll go. They'll either die because they've not had enough airtime and it's get rid of characters, or they'll send them off with Hermit, and you'll see more of them in maybe the next season. True?
Yeah, I agree. Think the reason if they were to be killed off would be for that emotional shock, because obviously it's a connection that Hermit's made. So I think it will be emotional.
They've been his family, haven't they?
Yeah, but yeah, they'll either go off with him, or maybe go with Morrow. Maybe a corporate betrayal.
Maybe instead of it being split off in so many groups, maybe Morrow, Hermit, Blightly, Rashidi, Siberian go off while Curly and Boy Cavalier go off. And then Wendy off on her own. So instead of it being smaller groups and smaller groups, maybe the group isn't as small as I thought it was.
Yeah. Well, Mara could tell them, of course, what happened in the crash and who set it all up, and expose the truth bomb, and that might change them to go onto his side and join the company and know that everyone in that city who died is all because of Boy Cavalier. So that's something they could do.
My favourite, and that's Kirsch, because I love Timothy Oliphant. So go on, Imperial. What do you think about his fate?
He's too much of an interesting character to kill off. He has so much potential. He has so much mystery. He's been written to be complex. So you're thinking, oh, is he good? Is he bad? Or is he in between? So I think he's not going to get killed off. But if he does, I think it's going to be a massive surprise if he does, because he's just too much of a good character to not to continue with the story in this season. So that's my thoughts on the character.
For me, it's going to be a bit of a Game of Thrones reference. They kill him off, I won't watch again. No, I love Timothy's character. I like Timothy as an actor. But Kirsch, I think he's probably going to be one of these double agent, triple agent type of thing. You think he's going one way and then he switches back and then he Unos it back again. And you just never know. It's going to keep the tension going. You're never going to fully know, is he like Ash? Is he not like Ash? How's it going? Or is he going to become like David and want to create things? So they'll keep him. They can't get rid of him. What do you think, True?
Yeah, they have to keep him. But as Imperial says, it would be a hell of a shock to kill him off. And it all depends on whether they want it to be super sensational, or have him become the David and become the sort of
a bit like
scientist.
mad scientist, because he just went mad, didn't he? He started experimenting.
I think Isaac will die because of how he's first introduced to the alien plant life. As I think, the saying, curiosity killed the cat, and it literally did in episode 2.
It did.
So I think he is going to get killed because, as well, there's scenes and trailers as well where it shows none of his future appearances except for episode 6. So I'm thinking is because, as well, in episode with the crash ships, he's actually Kirsch is telling him to use his eyes and not touch. So I think his curiosity is going to get him killed because he wants a scientist. He wants to be doing all these tests. He wants to explore this new adventure of knowledge that could be found. I do think he's going to tragically though die, and he is too a fantastic character already. You see that this kid who wanted to be a scientist, and he is doing that, and he's actually chose a name for himself instead of a code name, and Kush allowed him to have that. So I think that would be a sad to see him die. It will be, but I do think someone's going to die because we have seen a little scene where someone's trapped inside the plant alien and trying to get out. So I'm just trying to think, who is that? I think it's mostly going to be Isaac.
Oh, well, I didn't see that. I'd have to rewatch the teaser trailer. But for me, I don't want him to die. I have a feeling he could be, if we're going to go a mad scientist route, maybe he becomes the mad scientist. I think because, like, curiosity killed the cat, maybe he keeps pushing boundaries. I don't know, but I don't want him to die. I like Isaac's character. He's very level-headed. I like how he likes to learn. I'm going to say he doesn't die, but knowing me, I'll get my heart broken. So, True, go on, are you going to left field it, or?
Maybe. I think one of two things is going to happen.
Usually how it goes.
It's either Kirsch is going to die and Tootles will rise up and be the evil scientist to follow in his footsteps, sort of thing. Or Tootles / Isaac will die and it will spur Kirsch more down a darker route.
Mm.
So one's death will affect the other and how their journey into darkness goes.
Yeah, I agree with that.
Okay, so the last character we're going to talk about is Nibs. Imperial, take us away.
Now, I think Nibs has been a character who we see with the mental decline, how she's adjusted to her new body, and how she's reacting with others around her. So I do think at some point she is going to lose it even more, because there is a scene in the prison cell from previous trailers and teasers shown with her blood splatter on her face. So I'm thinking she might become a dangerous threat and in the future, and she might be killed. But if she doesn't die, I think that would be interesting story to go from there. A rogue synthetic with a child's mind who is doing things, and basically a mentally ill serial killer at the minute. We could have. I think that would be also an interesting story to see what could happen with Nibs. And as well, is she pregnant with that theory going around, even our theories with it? Because she actually might be infected with Teocellus, but not by biological way. That it's like she's a massive incubator, producing heat for whatever spawn that Teocellus has implanted with her. So we just don't know. She might survive, and at the end, she might suddenly open up, and all these small Teocellus comes out of her. So we see what happens. But with all these synthetic children, the Lost Boys and Wendy and Kirsch, they are synthetic, of course, and they can always come back.
Yeah, I think I'll go with the incubator theory that she is with Eyeball Paul. I think she's Eyeball Paul's baby mama. And but I think with her mental decline that maybe Boy Cavalier and Curly use that to their advantage and take her.
Yeah,
if she doesn't die in the episode.
Yeah.
What about you, True?
I like both theories.
Now you're going to play fence again, are you?
I'm going to play fence again because I like both of them. I like the serial killer, rogue, synthetic. I mean, maybe both may happen. If she does survive, she gets used by Boy Cavalier.
I think he'd be the one that would use her more than the others.
And then when that eventually falls through, she then goes rogue.
Well, then, let's open it up to the comment section. Leave your ideas below.
Well, that's bye from Imperial Collection, and have a good day.
Little bit of everything. I'll see you later.
I'm True Gamer. Gamer out.